Hello there, my stamping friends. It's Jackie Bolhuis from Klompen Stamper. Wow, can you believe it's 2022 already? It's just crazy. But I am so excited for another year to have the opportunity to share quick and easy cards with you, teach you how to make cards, and just be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Now, it's January, which means it's a super exciting time of the year. It's celebration again. Now, I have a few things I really want to tell you about today because I don't want you to miss out, but I promise we'll get to stamping really quick, and I have a fun technique I'm sharing today. But I want to tell you about celebration. Okay, here's the little brochure here. Now, if you don't have one of these, if you hop over to my website, I'll have the link in the video description. You'll be able to view this online as well as all the specials. Now, what's celebration? If you're new to Stampin' Up, celebration is when Stampin' Up gives us free items when we shop with them. So there's a bunch of items that you can select from with every $50 you purchase. There's a couple that require a $100 purchase, but they're fabulous. You're going to want those items. Plus, if you place a $300 order, there's a special stamp set that you get in addition for that. Now, the best deal around during celebration is to join Stampin' Up! As a demonstrator. Now, don't let that word demonstrator scare you. Many other direct sales companies use the word like consultant or representative. Demonstrator does not mean you need to demonstrate. That's the question I get asked all the time, so I like to say that. Stampin' Up! And myself and the Klompen Stampers, we love hobby stampers as much as we love those of you wanting to have a business. So if stamping's your hobby, come join us. Right now, it's only $99 to join us. You get to select $125 worth of whatever products you want, plus an additional 2 free stamp sets of your choice. So that brings the value of that up to, I don't know, 175, 180, depending on what stamp sets you select. So all this information is on my website. Again, follow that link over there. Or if you have questions, leave me a comment or send me an email. I'd love to explain it better to you. And I'd love to have you come join the Klompen Stampers team. So it is also the beginning of our January through June mini catalog. Now, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you don't have one of these yet and you would like one, again, hop over to my website. It's klompenstampers.com, or the link's in the video description. And over there, click on catalogs up at the top, and then it'll take you to a page where you can request a catalog if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that you shop with. Whew, okay, that was a lot. Now, I want to get to stamping because I have a fun project to share with you today called the floating strips technique. Careful, it's a little addicting. I started making cards with this and you could go on and on. The ideas are endless. So we're going to make one, and then I have a couple other ones to share with you. And then I want to share with you a tutorial that has 6 more cards using the floating strip technique that you can get that tutorial from me if you place an order during January. So you get the tutorial, you get free items from Stampin' Up! The fun just never ends. It's all about giving you lots of inspiration to make cards yourself. So let's get to work. We got a lot to do. We're going to flip the camera down and get started. Hang on one second. Like I said, that was a lot of chit chat. I usually like to dive into my project much quicker, but I wanted to make sure you knew everything that was going on. So this, like I said, is called the floating strip technique. It is a great way to use up scraps of cardstock. Now these, I have Melon Mambo, Daffodil Delight, Gorgeous Grape, and Granny Apple Green. And I just cut a bunch of strips that are 1/4 inch wide. Now you can do different widths, okay? You can mix and match the widths. I just kind of thought it was easier for me to do all 1/4 inch pieces. So that's what I have. We're gonna set those aside. Now, we need a piece of plastic. Now there's a couple options. I have a couple pieces here, and I don't know if they're really showing up or not, that these are the plastic pieces, the heavier plastic pieces that comes in Stampin' Up's photopolymer stamps. I know a lot of you have them. I just grabbed this one, kind of like it. I'm sure you can guess why. We're not using it today, but I just wanted to share with you, when Stampin' Up stamps come, and, oh, I guess I pulled these off already. They come between two pieces of plastic, a thicker one and a thinner one. But then you'll notice they have all of these images on the back of that case insert, so you can peel them off this thick plastic, stick them right there in your case so you know which ones you have, and you'll make sure you're not missing any because you got all those pictures to cover up. And then we have this thick piece. Let's see, we got a few of them here. So I save all these thick pieces and they work perfect for this technique. Otherwise, a transparency sheet, a window sheet, Stampin' Up! Sells window sheets, but it's just a thicker plastic is what you want for that. So we're going to lay that down, and then we're going to take our strips here, and I like to use the Tombow multi-purpose liquid adhesive for pretty much everything I do, but you want to make sure you don't put too much on, and then be a little careful because it's going to be a little slippery here when we put it down. So we're going to just set one on there, press it down there, and I am going to alternate. Now, we're just gluing these right on. There's no magic size here. These actually go way past my, you know what, we're gonna line, sometimes I like to line that up in the grid paper because it'll help you get these a little bit straighter, I guess. Again, you can have as much room or as little room between them. Like I said, there is no real rules here. Okay, we don't like rules when it comes to stamping. There's no right or wrong way. So we're gonna go Granny Apple Green, Daffodil, that Melon Mambo. Well, wait, no, I don't think it's Melon Mambo. I'm not sure which pink that is. It doesn't matter. Now, you don't have to worry about any of the supplies I used or the directions. Well, you learn the step-by-step directions, but you don't have to worry about the supplies or any of the cutting measurements. That's what I was trying to say. I will, over on a blog post that goes with this video, I will show you or list all of the supplies along with all those measurements to make not only the card I'm going to make for you today, but 2 other ones that I'm going to share with you as well. Let's see. These don't necessarily have to be in order. Okay, you could do just a couple colors, or you could do, you know, all different colors. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's see, what's next? Purple. Okay, so we got Gorgeous Grape here, and this might be enough. Let's see how big this got. So what I'm going to do, after you've glued these onto that window sheet or that acetate, let's pick this up, we probably glued part of it to the paper. What I'm going to do is use a die. Now, all the ones that I'm sharing with you today use a circle die. You could use any shape. So you could use a shape die, a circle die, or you could even just take this to your paper cutter. I'm not sure if the regular Stampin' Up! Trimmer will cut this or not because it's pretty thick. You might have to use more of a guillotine type cutter. So you could cut it into a rectangle or a square or whatever shape you want. So I'm going to use the circle. It looks like I'm big enough there, and I'm going to go cut this out with my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, just like I would if it was paper, and I shall be right back. Okay, now when I run this through, I go back and forth like 3 or 4 times just to, because we're going through all that layer of cardstock and the plastic. And sometimes there's a few little spots that didn't cut really good. So you just need to grab your paper snips, and we might have to just help it out a little bit here. So let's see, can we go backwards? There we go. You can see where it's supposed to cut it out just a little bit there. I missed that piece. Let's see, I think we're almost there. There's that one. Where else are we stuck? Because this was an awful lot to go through that machine. So, almost there. Almost. There we go. So there is our circle. So it's clear, so we can see behind it. And then it's got those nice strips. Now to make our card, we are going to, I've got my layers all cut here already. So I took a piece of crumb cake and I embossed it already with the Painted Texture 3D folder. And we're gonna put some adhesive. Okay. Now these 3D ones, I like to put a little bit more than normal adhesive on there because all that raised and, you know, different levels of that cardstock. So we'll get that glued down there really good. Now we are going to adhere this on here, but we want to pop this up a little bit. So this gives it that appearance of the floatingness of it. That's why we call it the floating strips technique. So I'm going to use my mini dimensionals, and I like to use my take and pick tool with these mini ones to help me pick it up. And we're going to place several of these on here because we want to pop it up pretty good. Now 1/4 inch is like just the size of these. So you might have to play around and turn your dimensionals so that they fit, because we don't want them showing underneath. Can we get one there? Yep. You want to make sure that you cannot see them. Okay. So we'll put quite a few because we want to keep this up there really nice. Let's see. Let's do one more. Whoops. Oh, stuck together on me. One more right there. Let's get one on the green. We're going a little crazy here, but we want to make sure. Okay, so we have lots of those on there. Now this take your pick tool also works really good to get those backings off. So you just kind of poke it and kind of like doing a little check mark with it. If you get too many on there, then they don't poke off as easy. So I like to just pull them off. There we go. And we're going to flip this over and we're going to just stick that on our card. I love those bright colors with that crumb cake and that black. See a little bit of shine going on there, but you can clearly see that that's raised up. Now for this one, like I said, I got 3 different samples to show you some different dies and so forth. But I already cut out a butterfly from the Butterfly Brilliance dies. I know a bunch of you have that one, so I thought that'd be a perfect one to use. We're not doing a lot of stamping here. We're using those dies. So we're going to just put adhesive in the middle of our butterfly. And then we're going to stick it up here. And we'll let it come off our circle a little bit, like so. And then, let's see, let's go ahead and do our greeting. Now you can play around with any greeting you want. I've got the Inspired Thoughts here. I like a lot of the greetings on here in the font that these are. And this one will work perfect for our butterfly card. And we're going to emboss it. Now, I love to do white embossing on black. You see that? It's kind of one of my signature looks, I think. So we're going to do that on here. I don't always do it on the camera as we're doing the video. So I thought, we haven't done it in a while, so we'll go ahead. Piece of black cardstock here. Now I have what's called an embossing buddy, and I'm rubbing it on there. Stampin' Up! Does not sell these anymore. They used to. I know a lot of you have them. I believe you might be able to find these online someplace. Just search embossing buddy. What it's doing is taking the static off. So this white embossing powder or any colored embossing powder does not stick where you don't want it. Another option, and I've personally never done it, but I know a lot of people use a dryer sheet and rub it across there because that will also take it's static. So we want to get the static off there. Now we're going to ink up with Versamark. When we're embossing, we want to use Versamark because it is a slow drying ink. Gives us time. Let's see, I don't want to get my head in here. Let's get this right along the edge. Right there. See if we're straight. Yep. You can't see it very well, but then we're going to pull in our white embossing powder here, dump it on there, tap off all the extra, and you can see sometimes I still get like little pieces there. So I like to make sure I brush those off before I heat it. Okay, because any little pieces of embossing powder is going to leave little dots that you don't want there. So now we're ready to get our heat tool. And we're going to just let this heat up a little bit. Hopefully you can still hear my voice. And when you go to heat this up, you need to just kind of move this around. If the heat tool needs to get, warm, if it was cold, which I think this one was, it'll take a second to start. But you will absolutely see when it starts because it turns white. Oh, see how it's turning right there? It's white and shiny. And then just keep moving that heat source until everything is white and shiny. And then stop. You can overheat these, so you need to be a little bit careful. Once it's white and shiny, move it. Otherwise, it'll flatten out and lose that shininess, and it won't look as nice. And I'm going to just trim this down. With greetings that are really small like that, I don't like to pre-cut my paper to the thin size that I need. I like to just use a bigger piece and then move that and just trim it because we want this one pretty small, about, just a little bit of border all the way around. So a lot of times when you see on my website, when I give dimensions, I don't always give dimensions of layers that are greetings like this one, because I think it's way easier for you to do it on a bigger piece first. Now, we will use our adhesive, and I'm going to kind of avoid the end here because we are going to stick this right there. And we want it to stick to that part of it. Probably we could put a little dimensional under there to hold that end from flopping. So we can go ahead, we know it's gonna go right there. Oop, it's sliding. Let's get that slid in place here. This is what I kind of like about, or one of the reasons I like that liquid adhesive, because until it dries, you can kind of slide it around and move it a little bit. Okay, there is our card, almost done. We're gonna just take a piece of basic white thick. When I'm using white for my card, I like the thick. It just gives it a little bit more substance. We'll pop that on there, and look at how those bright colors and that black and white just show up. So there's that. And then one more thing, let's go ahead and add some black dots on there. I like black dots. I use these quite a bit. You can go ahead and use this end again. We'll put those on a couple of our colors. So let's do a big one there. We'll do a little one there. And I tend to always use 3. It's, you know, more, and you should do it in kind of a triangle. It just makes it more appeasing to the eye. So there is our floating strips card. What do you think? I hope you like it. If you do, make sure you leave me a comment. Let me know. Now, let me show you a couple other ones that I made. Like I said, it gets a little bit addicting, and it's really a fun technique to use what I like to call silhouette dies. So you could do stamped images as well, but it's really fun with these and just makes a pretty quick card actually. So here I use the Quiet Meadow bundle. Those are the dies that go with it, and the greeting is from that as well. But there's kind of the same concept. There's our circle with our floating strips on it. Now remember, on the website, I will have pictures of all of these cards for you and a list of all the products I use. So if you would like to make any of them, I try to make it as easy as I can. Now, here I just started playing with greens. This die is from the Flourishing, or Forever Flourishing dies that goes with the Fern set. So I brought that one. And then our greeting on this one was the Beauty of Friendship stamp set and dies. It's got that die with the nice little border. So I kind of pulled a bunch of different products from different stamp sets and bundles that I had, but I really wanted to just show off this floating strips technique and give you lots of different samples and ideas in hopes that you give it a try as well, because it is kind of fun. Now, I mentioned a tutorial with 6 other cards. So every month I have a VIP email newsletter that I send out to everybody that makes a purchase from me during that month. So our January VIP tutorials is the floating strips technique, and you'll see a picture here of 6 different cards, again, using this technique. And on these, we've got some circles, but we've also got some rectangles going with the floating strips. Some of them use designer series paper, some are stamped on, some use cardstock. But if you'd like more ideas, you'll get this automatically emailed to you if you order from me this month. So that is all today. I feel like I've talked a lot, but I think I showed you a fun project. At least I think it's fun. I hope you enjoy it as well. As always, if you have questions, please reach out to me. Leave me a comment, send me an email. I am here to help you in any way that I can. Don't forget also, it's Celebration, and I'd love to have you join the Klompen Stampers as part of our demonstrator team. We have so much fun, and we have so many fun online events that we do as a team, many of them geared towards hobby stampers. So if that's you, come on and join us. Make some new stamping friends and have lots of fun opportunities to learn more stamping ideas. Alrighty, I'm out of here for the day. I hope you've enjoyed this video, learned some ideas, and give it a try. We'll be stamping again with you real soon. Have a stamp happy day.